Welcome back, guys, and welcome to another episode of Why Not So. In today's episode, I will be giving you guys an update on the husband challenge. Alright, for you, those of you who do not know what the husband challenge is, it's simply my husband has put some limitations on my fabric buying until I complete his challenge. Basically, I cannot go and buy fabric unless I complete 10 garments. In the last video, I showed you the very first garment that I completed at the end of the video, which was a sundress for my daughter. In this video, I have a couple more pieces that I finished up, and you guys, it look like I'll be done with the whole challenge in maybe in 2.5 weeks. Not 2.5 weeks from now, but the whole process only took 2.5 weeks. So I guess if I put my mind to it, I can get some things done. Oh, quite a few of you gave me some great tips on how to speed my process up. They were wonderful tips, and I actually thank you for those tips. And it was very, very encouraging. The comments below telling me I can do it. And, you know, yes, I do like the planning process. I really do love fabric shopping. I do like what something could be. I think that's my very artistic nature that's about me. I love painting, I love drawing, and for me the fabric's like a bowl of paint or a little crevice of paint, and there's infinite wonders into it. So for those of you who encouraged me, thank you. For those of you who gave me tips, thank you. And at the end of the video, I'll give you guys my update as far how far along I am with this process. Alright, so for today's episode, we're going to be talking to the basically the new sewer. This is the person who just got their sewing machine, and they're probably wondering what to do next. And the reason why I came up with this episode was recently I went to Baltimore and to visit some relatives, and unbeknownst to me was my cousin wanted to sew. And they went out, and her and her husband, they went out and they purchased patterns and fabrics, and you know, and they kind of stalled out right there. They got I'm not sure they had the sewing machine because I didn't see it, but they got the patterns, they got fabrics, and it was like, yay, let's try this. And then they got home and it stalled out. And there was a couple of factors that I know that I want to do a video on, maybe to help her continue with her process of sewing, or to help anybody who's new at sewing where to go from this point. Alright, so number one, okay, to keep in mind, you need to place your sewing machine someplace. And I want you to keep a couple of factors into play here. Okay, one, sewing is messy. Okay, so wherever you place your sewing machine, be mindful that sewing is a process. It's the act of creating, and like any acts of creating, it gets messy. There is, as they say, it's going to get bad before it gets good. So please note when you're trying to pick your location where you want that location to be, with that factor in mind. When you do finally pick your location, please personalize that location. I recently saw a picture where a woman in one of my, a young lady in one of my sewing classes, she put a picture of her sewing room, and she was just asking for help, you know, about as far as what she should do with her sewing room. And it was a table with a sewing machine. Great start, but it needs to be personalized. And you need to make your sewing area, your sewing room, your sewing location, I don't care if it's a corner, you need to make it you. You're never gonna, I noticed that I never want to draw any place where I'm not comfortable. If I don't personalize that area, if I don't feel like I fit well into something. You want me to do something, even paperwork. I do a lot of paperwork for my husband, and I find that I am not comfortable doing the paperwork if my desk is cluttered and messy, or if the space is not personalized to me. I have to get everything on the desk cleared before I can do the one thing that he asked me to do. Alright, so for your personalized space, personalize your space. Make your space inviting to you. That way you will want to go in there and you will want to be the best you can be, or do the best job you can do, because you love being in that space. Make it your Zen room or your hip hop room. I don't care. Just make it you. And you will want to be in that space. Please, if you have kids, please note that you might not want to close your stuff off into rooms where you can't see your children. For me, that's a factor in my sewing room. My sewing room is actually in my laundry room. My laundry room located on the second floor of the house next to the TV room, so I can readily see my kids. So there's lots of factors, but those are the factors that you need. Put the sewing machine down someplace. Be ready to spend time in whatever space that you place the sewing machine in. Be ready to spend a lot of time in that space. Personalize your location. Okay, number 2. All right, guys, you're gonna probably yell at me for this one. Let me take a cup of coffee. Sorry. Oh my God, that feels good. All right, you're probably gonna yell at me for this one, but it's true. If you are a new sewer, please don't buy patterns. And I know you're looking at me, but I need patterns. That's why I wanted to sew, because I saw the dress and I wanted to sew the dress. I know all the arguments, and believe me, you're going to buy patterns. All right, but don't buy patterns first, okay? And that is what I mean when I say don't buy patterns. What I'm going to ask you to do, and these are my recommendations. There might be way more recommendations. And if you guys got recommendations, please put them in the comments below. I'm only speaking from my own personal experience when I recommend these books. Nobody's paying me to recommend these books, and nobody even knows I'm about to recommend these books. But I'm going to recommend that you get a book first. And the reason why I recommend that you get a book first is within the book covers, it teaches you how to thread a sewing machine, which a pattern is not going to do. Okay, it's going to talk about all the books assume that you're a beginning sewer. And so it's going to talk about the sewing machine, it's going to talk about the patterns, it's going to talk about the fabrics, it's going to talk about the different fabrics, it's going to start you off with projects, and also at the end of the books, they have patterns. In fact, they have at least from 5 to 8 patterns depending on what book you get. But the first one I'm going to tell you to buy is Love at First Stitch, Demystifying Sewing. And this is from Tilly, I think her Wellness, or I'm going to just say Tilly in the Buttons. Just type in Tilly in the Buttons and she comes up. So, and I'm going to put a picture somewhere alongside me so you guys can see what this book look like. And, excuse me, so within the pages of the book, it's going to give you lots of instructions, guys. It's going to teach you how to thread a bobbin. I mean, and it doesn't stay with the basic stuff. As you get to going into the book, it's going to teach you how to make a skirt with the pattern, being in the back of the book. And it's going to give you lots and lots of detailed instructions with nice, pretty, colorful pictures, not line drawings that you can't quite make sense of. Or you looking at it and you can't figure out which is the front and which is the back. So, this is why I'm recommending a book. But the first book I'm going to recommend is Love at First Stitch. And the second book I'm going to recommend is So Many Dresses, So Little Time. And I done put these books up, I think, a couple of times in a couple of videos. And this is Tanya Whalen. And in Tanya's book, she got so many bodices, or she teaches you how to modify the bodice. And she got so many different bottoms, which is the skirt part. And she teaches you how to modify those for different looks. And basically, you have the capacity to create 200 plus dresses. But she teaches you as if you are a beginning sewer. She doesn't assume that you know anything. And I find that whatever this book is missing, this book would explain. So between the two books, I'm able to get a whole slew of knowledge in simple, easy to understand instructions. So this book has patterns at the back of it. This one gives you the potential to create 200 plus dresses. This one gives you the potential to create, I'm going to say, is it 6 to 8 patterns? I'm going to say around there. In the back of this book, you're going to learn how to create a scarf, do a straight stitch first. You're going to know how. So basically, it's going to baby step you all the way to all your creations. And you know where to start, what supplies you need, what to buy, what you don't need to buy, at least not right off. Okay? So that's why I say buy books, not patterns first. Now, once you done did a couple projects within these, it's time to go buy patterns if that's what you choose to do. Okay? Okay. Here's another one that you, okay, so this is a warning, okay? And I am, oh my God, I am one of those people who break this rule all the time. At least, it's not. Limit your fabric buying, because sewing can become really expensive only because we go to the store and we shop for fabric like we're shopping for clothes. Oh my God, this is so cute. Look at this fabric. I'm going to create something. Well, until you know you're going to sew and love the act of sewing, limit your fabric buying. Once you know you have created a couple projects and you know every few days when you're not at the sewing machine, you're missing your sewing machine, that means you done caught the sewing bug. You're able to now store some fabric up. But what I don't want you to do, or what I've seen a lot of people do, is that they'll want to get into sewing, they'll buy a bunch of fabric, and the fabric sits there. And the projects never get done, and it was just a waste of investment if you never gave yourself the chance to fall in love with sewing. Meaning you did it one time, you kind of didn't like it, or you didn't, or I don't know, something went wrong, whatever not. But until you know that you love sewing, limit your fabric buying. In fact, limit your fabric buying, if you got the books, to just the books in the project. And then once you know that you like what you created, have fun. Alright, let's see. Oh, okay, so this is about shopping, okay? And one thing people complain about with sewing is that it does get expensive. Well, limit your, first of all, as in the last advice, basically limit your buying to just what you need for that project. Okay, and slowly gather all your equipment and tools together. Also, alright, I'm a big, vast believer in shopping locally until there's things I have to buy repeatedly and the local shop just don't have it for the price that I need, a price point where I need it at. So I'm a big lover of go and see, first of all, if it's on sale, go pick up quite a few of those. If it's buy locally, get out your house, go to the store and look at the fabrics, touch the fabrics, feel the fabrics, even though I do also buy online. But I also like to buy locally. But in cases where you need to buy things, a lot of things, for example, one advice that people will give you is every project use a new needle in your sewing machine. And I don't do that. But what I do do is I buy, say, my needles. I will buy them by the bulk at Amazon for the same price as it will cost me one needle in a store. So look and see what you can get away with as far as buying different needles and items in bulk buy. And that way you don't have to spend, you may, I think I'll spend twice a year for needles instead of going every month to the store for needles and stuff like that. So know what you can buy in bulk or what you can get off eBay quite a bit fast. Know what you can get off of eBay and Amazon and buy in bulk for cheaper, and then also know what you can get at your local stores to save money. So just check out your stores, investigate the buying. This is part of the fun. This is part of the process. Also, you want to know where to get started, and maybe the books, maybe you're not a book learner, or you feel like you need more instructions. This is where I'm going to tell you to go on Facebook and join a sewing group. Okay, there's plenty of sewing groups out there. There are sewing groups for the basic beginner. I am part of a sewing group. Now, there's some pros and cons to joining sewing groups. Generally, you're doing a pattern that the group has picked that you may or may not agree with, but you're doing it not because you may wear it or may not wear the garment. You're doing it because you want to learn what the group is learning and some sewing skills that you may not have. So, and you also may be pleasantly surprised to find out the garment is actually quite cute. Sometimes what you see on the package is not the greatest potential of that garment. Meaning it looks awful on the package, and then you get it, you make it, you're like, oh, this is actually nice. I like this. Alright, so with that being said, join a sewing group. The people within a sewing group are so supportive. They keep you on track. They tell you, okay, this is what we're doing now. This is the pattern. And every month, and it's only one pattern for the most part, a month, unless your group does something different. And you are basically progressing in your skills. In some sewing group, if you're not a beginner, then they'll have a pattern for the intermediate person or the advanced person. So again, find a support group out there. I learned that if I don't feel so alone in something, or I feel that there's a group around me, then I have a tendency of doing it a lot more. I feel like even when I don't feel like doing it for myself, I feel like, but I don't want to let the group down, so I'm going to do it, make sure that I stay up, because, I don't want to be the last one in the group to do it. There's that certain positive type of peer pressure, which means get something done. Alright, guys. So that is the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Not totally the end of the video, because at the end of the clip, I'm going to be inserting pictures of my progress with my husband's challenge. Guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, put them below. If you like the video, please